tonight, where will you spend eternity? If you should die tonight and stand before God, your Maker, and He should ask you why He should allow you to enter His heaven, what will you answer Him? The Bible says you can be 100% sure that you're going to heaven and that you will spend eternity with God. But before you know how you can spend eternity with God, there are some other things that you need to know. The Bible says that in the beginning, God created man. And God created man so that man could rule the earth on God's behalf and be God's representative on the earth. So God and man lived in perfect harmony and in fellowship with each other. However, something happened one day that forever changed this harmonious relationship between God and man. The Bible says that man disobeyed God and broke the commandments of God, because of which man could no longer live in fellowship with God. The Bible says that man was estranged from God because of his disobedience to the commandment of God. The Bible calls this disobedience of man sin. The result of this sin was man separated from God. Man could no longer live in fellowship with God like before. Now, this could be illustrated in another way. This could be illustrated as man standing on one side of a cliff and God on the other, and sin separating them both from each other. Man cannot live in fellowship with God. Man cannot live in harmony with God anymore because the sin of man separates him from God. The Bible says in Romans chapter 3 verse 23, Romans chapter 3 and verse 23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. The first thing you need to know before you can ever hope to be reconciled to God is that you are a sinner. It is your sin that separates you from God. You have sinned in your thoughts, you have sinned in your words, you have sinned in your deeds, and in so many other ways because you have this sin nature in you that propels you to sin. There is a propensity to sin inside of man.